Yeah.
All right. Okay. Magandang hapon po, Ate Marie. How are you?
Magandang hapon, Didi. Hello. Good. Good. How are you?
Okay po.
Ano yan?
Nasaan ka ba ngayon?
Nelson, nasa bahay.
Nasa Nelson.
Nakauwi na tayo.
Okay. Kumusta ang panahon dyan?
Overcast siya and may konting sunshine, but it's still a little bit warmish, but not as warm as the previous days. So we're probably heading to slowly into that winter time.
Yeah.
Pero yeah.
Yeah.
It's still blue swimming.
I'm now wearing used to be I'm wearing sleeveless, but now I start wearing this.
Pwede pa rin tayong konting, it's still the summer clothing, but probably not a sleeveless one anymore.
Yes, correct. Anyway, thank you for accepting my invitation to have a conversation with you around your journey. I guess your journey in terms of you coming to New Zealand, but also your journey in terms of your volunteering work, especially in the ethnic community, because what I see is that you're very much involved in pretty much a lot and in a very long time. So let's start with, tell us a little bit more about where you are. Nelson, kasi I'm sure iba na nanonood sa atin, din lang naman taga New Zealand, others, outside of New Zealand as well. So tell us a little bit more about where you are.
Yeah. So where I am is Nelson, which is pretty much what they call center of New Zealand, but that's probably debatable and arguable by some other regions. And Nelson is probably going to the other places, probably I would say the balanced climate compared to if you're up north, it's too hot. If you're down south, it's too cold. So coming to the middle is fine. And dahil she's top of the South Island, New Zealand's got two islands, north and south. Top of the South Island, you can just drive down to the south and a lot of the coast and all that. So that's Nelson. It's probably one of the oldest cities, as well as in the past. Well, it was known for a retirement place because of the lifestyle. People come here to just lay back now and retire. But it's really, that was before. But actually it's buzzing now, and cost of housing has skyrocketed because of the lifestyle in here. And I think it's connected with Blenheim as well, because we're wine country. That Marlborough region is mostly good for the wine. So itong warm weather natin is good for all those wineries and lifestyle. Lifestyle, orchards, apples, and things like that. Yeah.
How long have you been in Nelson, Ate?
Tanda na tayo, 31 years. 31.
Wow, 31.
31 years, longer than I've lived in my own country. I came here when I was 26 years old. Married at 27.
Tell us about that journey, for your journey to Nelson.
Yeah, so when I actually came from sa Filipinas. I've worked with a humanitarian organization called the International Committee of the Red Cross.
Yeah.
So ICRC exists when there's conflict in certain countries, and sa Philippines at the time, and yung Marcos regime and all the rebels on the down south, military rebels. So after all that, it was 5 years in there. I decided I'd like to come to New Zealand. I've been to other countries prior to this. I've been to Europe prior to this, but I'm come here, and I met this is where I met and married my partner Deans, and and so we from here. So mostly Nelson. We live in Orchard. I did all sorts of jobs, from fruit picking, what do you call this kiwi fruit, and then I actually started my volunteering earlier on, about 2 years of that, while I'm trying to integrate in the community, trying to get to know the community, and because you just, even though you try to get a job, you're not going to get it straight away, because people need to know who you are and what you can prove. Lahat ng well, in a way, lahat yung your degree and all that, pagdating sa ibang bansa, sometimes it doesn't really, they don't really recognize it, or you have to go to a lot of hoops and loops to be recognized. So it's just a matter of that building those relationships started earlier on. So volunteering sa English language part, English as second language program. Dito, it used to be called Nelson Polytechnic then. Involved na ako sa mga refugees, and I just did volunteering for a couple of years until I met some other Filipinos here, and then getting a job was by word of mouth. Oh yeah, merong vacancy dun sa church namin, office day. So that was one of my first jobs, actually, office lady sa Nelson Baptist Church, doing the newsletter. And at that time, you have to hold two jobs. So I was also doing cafe, 6 o'clock in the morning, doing the breakfast for called Robert Harris coffee shop here. So you just start, they'll start small until you get your ground and footing, and you just keep on seeing and looking for other work that would suit and fit. Yeah, and from there, so I ended up getting a job with ACC. It's mostly government offices, and then internal affairs, Department of Internal Affairs, then the community development side here, where that's where my colleagues then had a project to establish a multi-ethnic council, Nelson Multi-Ethnic Council. So that was in '94, and my manager then also, because she was from Christchurch, said that it would be good if we can establish. Wala pang ethnic affairs noon. It's part of all part of internal affairs, DIA. Yeah, so I got that work and established a multi-ethnic council, organized the first meeting, '94, invited a lot of the foreign sounding names around it. I have to go to the phone book. I have to go to the electoral roll and all those people live in Nelson. Although I know already some people around here, and with the help of my my colleague, I call him my mentor now, then he helped me know some people who are actually ethnic migrants. So the first meeting started in one of the oldest iconic place here called Fairfield House. It's still standing. It's very good for all your wedding occasions. So that's what's one of the oldest buildings.
This was around 1990s,
1990s, 94, and all that. So it grew, and then it got incorporated. We had a lot of then members came in and all that. So that kind of like it kind of like taken off. It started from there, so it carried on, and that's like any community organization, up and down. And with me, I moved on as well from that job, the internal affairs, to then I worked with Nelson Mail part-time, the newspaper, doing the ads, and then I got the job at Nelson City Council as personal assistant to the mayor. So that was the first mayor, and I stayed there for 15 years. I worked with 3 mayors, including some of the mayor now. She was deputy mayor then when I left in 2010. So, and coming Nelson, the multi-ethnic council evolved. I had to step back for a while because I had my child, I had my family, so I thought, yeah, leave it for that. And step back in '99, but when I left the city council, I rejoined some of the community organizations, because with the city council, you got a full-time job and you don't really have time for community. So after I left city council, I thought I have some part-time work, but also rejoin the community organizations, including Volunteer Nelson, which is very active in here, and rejoin multicultural Nelson community law, budget advice. I just really grew into the whole being on the board, being on committee. I was really just curious how it all works, and that's really my training and grounding for governance. And then, but I did the groundwork first. I did the MAHI,
Mm,
I did the work, being a volunteer, rolling your sleeves and working there so I can get to know the organization.
mm.
And I started, oh yeah,
So
basically
would
asking
you
me.
would you say that your sort of the I guess the start of your work with the community started with the actual sort of work that you had back when you were with the IA? Is that like your sort of
Hmm,
you're getting into the that sphere
yeah,
of community is
yeah,
because of your work with the DIA and then eventually with your the council sort of work. Uh,
yeah.
just
It's probably way even before that, because when I was going back to the workforce after a while here being without a job for 2 years of volunteering with a refugee family, Vietnamese family then. I also enrolled in Nelson Polytech, so I did some courses, and it's one of the key courses that helped me set me up and helped me get to know a bit more community and about being independent is the women going back to the workforce, women coming back to the workforce. So NMIT had those courses that are for
they're
people
like
who are just,
certificate, or they're like certificates.
yeah, there were certificates here because it was really tailored for people who have not, or women especially who have not been in the workforce, just to give them skills like
Is that still available up to now?
um I haven't heard of it. I think it's more blended now on people with different skills, not just for women.
Mm.
Um, but I think it's other people as well trying to get back to the workforce. There is a term for it now in the NMIT, or it's
Mm.
Nelson Marlborough Institute of Technology. But it's a different terminology, and it's not just catered for women. It's different.
Women, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I
it
think
was a great course, and I remember that
yeah,
finally gave me,
yeah,
yeah.
I think that's really is
Mm.
like a good thing. In fact, maybe at the back of our mind, maybe let's park it there, because I think that would be maybe something that we can look at.
Yeah.
We're going to because we're still very involved in our communities
Mm.
and the wider community. I
Mm.
think if this, as you said, it has helped you, and I think maybe we can advocate for something like that in the future.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and
let's park that.
yeah,
I
exactly.
want
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to what you've said earlier around, you did a lot of like community work,
Mm.
the early on before even getting the job at the DIA,
Mm.
because that has helped, because you mentioned something about, it's from, so it's the referral, it's that
Mm.
referral and the experience, I
Mm.
guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Ang problema kasi natin, 'di ba, as migrants, has always been an issue is that when we apply for a job, they ask us for ano yung experience mo, like, so that's a chicken
Mm.
and egg situation, because if you're new to a country, how can you have an experience?
Exactly.
But then
Yeah.
what your point, which I think one of the things that I also did when I started, when I came to New Zealand in 2005, if yung point nyo na do volunteering work, because that
Mm.
is actually going to help you with, one, knowing your community better, but also the connection, the network, and again, that experience na kailangan mo para when you apply for a job, you can actually
Yeah.
say that there's an experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and even if you apply for a job, and I also see that now when I work at the NMIT, because I became the cultural advisor for international student for 3.5 years, I shared that knowledge, like, because migrants would come in here, especially ethnic migrants from Southeast Asia, Asian countries, they come in here with big expectations that
Mm,
they would land the job straight away,
mm,
and that's it, and that's fine. But
mm.
the thing is, as you mentioned, you don't they will those some of those employers then, probably different now because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
screaming for workers, but employers then were more, oh, you don't have experience. I even got that comment from I was applying while I'm volunteering. I got that comment from, oh, I'm sorry, you're not going to get a job in here.
Mm,
You weren't born here. You didn't play netball here. You didn't play. So yeah, it'll be hard for you to get a job here because you're just unknown and you don't have, you cannot associate the skills straight away, because I graduate my degree was foreign service.
mm,
Okay, and although I did typing. I must my touch typist back then, those old typewriters, and I also did a typing part of this women course as well. Was the Pitman's test is a very old typing test. You probably weren't born then, but it's a touch typing skill,
Yeah.
and that actually got me through the job at ACC because I was a typist at ACC. Just that, the skill alone. But then it's more of those building relations while in between jobs, because you do get lots of rejection. Even I even tried to apply for just the filleting fish here, Sea Lord, where some of the Asians end up when they first come in here. Even that, someone told me, oh no, you're not going to get a job here. It's hard to break into that. And I said, it's filleting fish, but it wasn't meant to be. A part of it, of course, is, God is there. God sees you through. So, but patience in getting to know people getting to know you as well, being authentic around, helping people. At the time, even I was just, I wanted to just get to know the community and all that, and find ways where there might be a job there, because, door knocking and all that. Yeah, it's always the different ways to get a job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fast forward to now, and in terms of what you're volunteering, what does it look like? How does it look like? So because I know I see you on Facebook, like there's so many things that you're involved in the community, many different sort of communities, even in the Maori, like sort of the Maori space. So tell us about that, and how did you, just a story. Like tell us about your journey.
Yeah. So so when I left, the course of my work actually allowed me to also meet those people, especially in the mayor's office, where you really meet dignitaries and people in the who's who in the community, because I also organize civic functions, civic awards, citizenship, and people still remember me. Oh, you were at my citizenship ceremony. You were secretary to the mayor. Oh yeah, I really enjoy that. So leaving the council, I had these people that who knew me from the mayor's office just say, oh, where are you now? So did you kind of touch base? Because when you're at work, this is the thing as well, that when you're in any work, enjoy that experience. Don't I would say this, don't waste it by just this is like complaining or being sorry, but just enjoy each moment, because you don't know where it's going to take you. So so from that one, and also did some work for the bank. So but I continued with volunteering because I really want to more involved in the community, and then get on the board, get onto governance, learn about that governance board training, because since I work with the city council, and it was about governance and the management. So you're with the elected officials, you're working with them, as well as you're helping the appoint the hired staff.
Yeah.
So that helped me right through. And fast forward now, it's been really a good journey, because after that there's the bank. Then I work in the bank for a year, the TSB bank, first set up in here. And then I got shoulder tapped to help with the hospice here, the regional hospice. And the lady who set that up, she's really like a matriarch. She's really the champion of the hospice. She's passed away now, and she's got plenty of connections. She hosts parties like you never imagine. She likes to do that, because you learn from those people. You learn how they hobnob to get connections, and then you get your influence. You get to lobby something. So it goes. And people just get to invite you, get to know you. Yeah, and being on the governance of these organizations that I'm involved in, you also get to represent on certain functions, or even a outside events or meetings and hui and things like that. And just out of curiosity, I look into this. Oh, that interests me. I'll go there. Governance, community governance, I'll go there. I join, and now it's all on Zoom and things. I still go get involved and join in, especially when it's about ethnic diversity and encouraging all that. So yeah, yeah, I see something and I'm interested in it, and whether it's politics or even climate change, sometimes I just really I'd like to know more about something, like with the health system. That's why I put my hand up to be on the Consumer Council, Health Consumer Council, because after the whole COVID, there was a lot of mental stress, mental health and all that. So I go to courses when I can, and if it's free, why not? I go to, that's how you learn as well. If it's free, it's there, you sign up for it. You've got time, just do it. Yes, and that's really, kumbaga ba, opportunista.
Yeah, I think, no, I think it's
It's about the right opportunist,
yeah,
opportunity.
Curiosity too. Yeah, I think, and I think it's probably more your passion, like, because I think those are things like, iba kasi iba naman din yung gusto nila, but
exactly.
that is an area that you're really interested in, and just tell us
and learning as well. I'll continue continuous learning. I remember my father who passed away, si Papa. He always tells me, because I've been studious when I was in school, say, mamamatay ka ng kaaral. But I'm not yeah. When it's free, because I can't really afford all those big ticket courses and things like that. So yeah.
So in terms of your, so you said you're part of a board like governance, governance board and things like that. So ilan na yung, kasi sabi mo you're involved in a lot. So how many like in the involvement? And I think one of the things I'm interested in as well is, there's a difference between governance and management, right? Like, so in terms of the governance, activities, you prefer to be in that sort of space because I believe because you can make a difference, like you look at policies, you can make some changes like that. So one question is how many and what are those that you're currently involved in terms of, that governance level? And then second is what would be your advice, I guess, for those who would be interested to, go into that space, the governance,
Yeah, I stopped counting because I get yung mga the tall poppy syndrome people, especially yung mga puti, why the pakiha female sometimes, and some other people who think that they say that they support ethnic migrants, pero when you're trying to be at their level, kumbaga ba, diyan ka lang. This is just they put you in your place, that this is how as far as you're reaching, and and this is more of the dominant dominant culture space thing, and that actually challenges me. That challenges me. That you get challenged every time, and with it. So with me, with the governance, because management is only for if you're employed and you're paid to do that, that's management. But if governance is more of the bigger picture, the strategy, the planning, the blue sky thinking, the vision, mission and purpose of an organization. So and I'd like to do that. I'm a dreamer in a way. So how many I've stop counting, and now, well, there's this community law and multicultural, volunteer Nelson, Red Cross, probably about four or five that I'm managing at the moment, that I'm involved in at the moment. And one that I'm currently chairing is the area council for the New Zealand Red Cross, which is like the regional council for the Red Cross. So because I've been involved with Red Cross for a long time, even before I came here. Yep. Yeah. What's the other question? So
advice to those who would be keen to follow your
advice. So there's been created now online, it's called community governance, that that does snippets of modules of community governance training. So if you see something, there's always something that if you look it up, there's that if it's free and it's offering training, just join in and know about it. I also do a bit of reading when I first start, and even the internal affairs in their website now, that's called Community Matters. That's got a tab there for community governance. So it just gives you the basics of community governance and how it works, and just organizations that may be looking for board members or governance members, but you also need to have this a skill to now go into it, and yeah, so and learning along as you go along, because once you're into those organizations, they do they do offer training for the board, for the committee, to understand governance, because one of the issues that sometimes a whole misunderstanding and why an organization can go down is that misunderstanding, treading fine line between management and governance. This has to be separate. A manager cannot be on the board because they're paid. They can suggest, but they can't be pushing the agenda, or the policy rests with the board, but it has to, everyone has to communicate about it and think, and it's setting it up, but it's driving it forward. It has to be the board, the governance,
So
or the committee, for example.
There's also the the governance, the Ministry for Ethnic Communities, diba? Meron silang program as well. So like you can also register your interest, and they will help you with your CV and things like that. But exactly. I don't know whether they have some training. Do they have? Do you know?
I think they do. I never really get in, but if you actually ask them, that they will, or they can direct you to the right place. I know in Christchurch they have a program called Women to Women, which is like a leadership training for women, but that's set up by in Christchurch. And there's no reason why we can't do it in our, like you and Blenheim doing it, and their ethnic affairs will be more than happy to support, and you can apply for funding. Yeah, so they're very, very good at supporting yourself, or even I know one of my friends at the ethnic affairs, and she's been involved in the multicultural council for a long time as well. She just sent me, I will share it with you, and you can post it. So the Filipino community in Christchurch did a video, a YouTube video on like promoting vaccination, and it's a song. They did a song, and it's on Tagalog, Kuna or something like that. But I can share it. Yeah, it's really good. So yes, it's just really being curious, and if you think you're interested in learning it, just go for it. If and part of it as well is really that helping. So if I see like I feel passionate about, say, the likes of SPCA or something, Volunteer Nelson, because that's really I like I do believe in volunteering and the power it brings to people. What's the other? Yeah, things that you believe in. You have to believe in the cause to be able to volunteer. Otherwise, you're not, it's like you won't be able to sell something if you don't believe in it. Right. So yeah,
that's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is because I've experienced it. When you do a lot of volunteering, alam mo yun, there is a point in time that alam mo yun, gusto mo nang mag-give up.
Yeah.
So how
especially kung may mga intriga.
So how do you relax? Because you have work, you have volunteering work, and you have family. How do you relax? We have to take care of our mental health. I know that you're passionate about something. Sometimes you actually see that, no, I don't need to relax because this is my passion, but I think we still need to do that. So how do you relax?
I go swimming. Lalo pag yung mainit ng panahon, ay gusto ko yung open swimming, open pool, open I do go to the public pool, but open. And if it's the winter time, I still go swimming yung mga indoor pools, public indoor pools. Um, I do listen to music, and I, listen to gospel songs, and just even just pottering around doing things that I've my domestic chores and things like that. Um, don't ask me about the garden. I know you're a gardener, but this is just one thing that because once I get outside, it just endless work in there. So, but I do appreciate what comes out of the garden after the gardener has been, the hard person has been. Yeah, and yeah, just walk, and even just touching base with friends and old friends, because I like to just check on people rather than I do spend time to myself, but when I do think of people, I need to check on. I have a kamatua. She's one of the very good Maori lady that I shares her wisdom. So I check on her, check on people. Maybe a friend of mine is pregnant, or it's really good to do that. Yeah, and then I just be here. Yeah.
Thank you. Ate, is there anything else that you wanna, tell our, viewers? I know that we need to sort of, close because we're off to another meeting.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah, 6 o'clock. Yeah, 6 o'clock.
We probably will be in that same meeting. Is that the police thingy?
Yes.
So see you there.
Yeah. That's that one. Oh, yeah. Because I attended the session, first session with the multicultural New Zealand. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just really keep going, keep trying. But you have to be authentic when you want to help. Um, and humble, being humble, pray a lot, pray and have faith. And if anything, that's in this journey that really helped me, because you get knocked down, down very much by people, and people who think, oh, you're spreading yourself thin, but just pray for them. There's time that I would react and be annoyed, but nah, it's not worth it. Just stay calm, stay happy. You have to walk away, but just keep praying, keep hoping, keep loving. Yeah, and keep on doing the good things for Jesus.
Awesome. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Ate
thank
Marie. Oh
you.
my
You're
God,
doing a good job. Thank
really-
you for having the time for doing this, Super Pinay. We need someone like you.
Yeah, I think it's the sharing of our experiences, and I think that's one
Yeah.
way of empowering each other,
Yeah.
like learning from each other. So so this is really an opportunity, I guess, a platform for people to actually share their stories is
Well
something,
done.
that we should continue on doing. So salamat po ng marami sa
Well
inyo.
done, you. See you on the next one.
See you on the next one. See you at 6
All
o'clock.
right,
All
Kathy.
right, bye for
Bye.
now.
Bye. God bless. God
God
bless.
bless.
Bye.
Okay, bye po.